This is Huntingdon in the UK, and that cute little building there is Tom's Cakes. I can't think of too many places I've been that makes better cakes. Right, what are we doing? We're talking about Underseal. So, for various reasons, um, this is the only car that I have available to me at the moment. The Range Rover is getting some servicing done. The M5, actually, I just don't want to drive the M5 in the salt, so that's under a cover in the salty conditions. Um, so this is my daily driver at the moment, which is quite painful to do, especially in the winter. You can see it's completely caked and covered in salt. I went out on some of the worst days when they'd gritted really heavily, and then it had snowed pretty heavily. Snowed, sleeted, and rained pretty heavily after that. So lots of salt in all the nooks and crannies, and it was stressing me out because I'm not sure if this car had ever been under steel before. So I decided to take the car to Chris Kemba, who runs a company called Clump Fab, which is in Huntingdon, near Peterborough in the UK. Heading over there on a pretty cold, miserable day. Right, here at Clump Fab to see if we can get some undersealing done on this car. The main man here, if he doesn't mind me putting him on camera, is Chris Kemba.
How you doing?
He runs the shop. I'm just gonna have a quick peek inside and then we'll catch up once it's done. You can tell I'm new to this, yeah? Alright. Wow, this is pretty cool, Chris.
It's a bit crammed in here at the moment, like I said.
Right, so I left it with him over Christmas, and these are some of the photos that he sent me on WhatsApp. Here's a before photo, I guess. He said the car's not too bad underneath. We can see that there is some surface rust in a few areas, but overall it does look like there is some kind of underseal, but can't hurt to give it another layer of protection. I guess he's got started here. He's covered up the drive shaft. And this looks like rust converter. So he's put this on a few different places. Here he said someone had jacked it up and some of the underseal was cracked. So he had to rub it back, and then he's put this Rust Busters rust converter product on there. Here you can see it again. So it's in a few different places. I assume this is like the pre-prep that he's been doing. He did actually tell me that he jet washed the entire underside of the car. And he's in those holes there, which are the seals, he's inserted some sort of cavity wax. That doesn't look great, to be honest with you. I think that's probably obviously my fault for having driven in the salty conditions. The car wasn't that bad a year ago. So that subframe will hopefully have to come off. Not hopefully, but it will have to come off at some point. This is definitely looking a lot better, as you can see through these photos. He's protecting some of the leading edges of the bodywork that's exposed. I think I showed that photo already. It looks like the fuel tank, probably some surface corrosion there, a bit of that rust buster stuff. And then the other product that goes on is, I think it's called U-Pol Gravitex, which is the other coating. I have to say I've been pretty impressed with the prep work that he's done. You can see how he's protected the arches, covered up all the suspension components. And you can see he's paid extra attention to the leading edges of the bodywork that are most exposed to the elements. So here, this is some progress work. It's starting to look a little bit better. Look how badly those discs are corroded. It's not good. This is a before photo, and then here's how it looks now. That should hopefully last me another few winters, and it's going to make me a bit more comfortable using it in crappy conditions. Right, heading down to Clump Fab to pick up the Celica in this guy. Okay, back at Clump Fab, and you can see the Celica there in the background. Let's go take a look. All right, Chris. How you doing? That is looking nice, man.
I've only given it a quick wash, so it's probably not out yet. Probably not the best.
Yeah, no, it's good, man. It's looking really good.
Covered in-
Do you know what I noticed in the photos was the discs were really rusty. Is that because of all
That's
the
just because of all the salt and stuff on that driver, and it's
Holy
been sat-
moly.
and then it's been sat in the workshop for a
Inside,
week, so it's
probably
just-
inside,
it's- Yeah, so you'll get a bit of weird noise just for the first mile.
yeah, just like scraping a little bit, yeah. Man, it's looking good. What's that? No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah. Was it really? I'm gonna wash it myself. Do you know what? I'm glad the weather's better because I just didn't want to drive it back and just get salt all over it again.
It's not nice driving with that.
Nice car though, right?
Yeah, it's good.
So can I stick the camera on you and you could tell me a little bit about what you've done?
Yeah, go.
I don't want the bins in the background. Come on, can stand over here. Yeah, go on. So what have you done?
So we stripped all the underneath down.
Yeah.
Took the exhaust and the side trims.
So when you say you stripped it down, what did you actually strip?
So we took the exhaust off.
Oh,
side
okay,
trims,
strip the
Yeah.
attachments. Okay,
and
yeah.
then I took all the heat shields off. There's only a couple on this. There's not actually many on here.
Yeah.
The tank guard, I've took that off as well to do it because I have a weird plastic one.
Yeah,
Any plastic under tray things, they all come off.
yeah.
We did. I jet washed it outside first, but as I said,
Man,
to you, when I
appreciate you jet washing on the inside. You had to, you got it up in the air
put
and
it
you.
on the ramp, left it a day to dry.
Yeah.
I looked in and I thought, no, you could still see salts in some of the corners and that. So
Yeah.
I thought, I covered everything up and I just jet washed it in the workshop.
Oh man, you warm my heart, man. You warm
I've
my
had
heart.
to do that a few times.
Thank
with other
you,
people
thank you.
anyway,
Appreciate that.
But yeah, I just looked at it. I thought,
It just goes to show you that if you don't do it,
I was pretty thorough outside of it, so I put it on a couple of jacks, obviously, just to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
underneath. But yeah, you can still see in the corners.
yeah, and that's just going to sit there and just rot everything.
it, yeah.
So anyway, I'm so glad that's all come out now. Thank you, dude.
Plus, it gets trapped behind the plastic covers, you see. So
Yeah.
when I had all the covers off, that's when I started spotting bits of it. So.
Do you know, part of me thinks I really want to drive this car throughout the winter, but it's just not going to last that long if I, you know.
I think you'll be alright as long as you keep it clean, sort of thing. As long as you can try and keep it jet washed straight after, sort of thing.
Do you think it'll be better now? I mean,
Definitely better now.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it did have a good underseal on it.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
what's caused it to last. Now it's got another one on top of that. It's going to be pretty well protected.
Okay.
So.
But if I just jumped out and I started driving around in the salt like now,
Yeah.
it's going to last a bit longer, but it's still.
It definitely lasts longer, but
Okay.
yeah, you want to keep it clean.
You want to try and keep it off the.
This underseal, for example, they recommend it lasts 5 to 7 years.
Really?
This
Okay.
is more salty weathers. It's probably a 5-year last.
Yeah. Okay. So you said it's rust buster. First, you did like a rust converter.
Yeah, so
Two products, right?
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Rust buster, which is basically anything surface rust, it just stops it spreading,
Yeah.
converts it,
Yeah.
and it stops it growing. So the thing is, if you put underseal straight on that, it will just grow under the underseal, and then you have loads of nasty flaking stuff in a year down the line.
Yeah.
So it just stops anything growing, basically.
Legend.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
And then I'll just put a bit of primer on top of that just to help with the underseal coat as well, just so it's got a bit extra protection. So,
Amazing.
yeah, no, you're
You
welcome.
are a hero. Can I take a quick look at that MX-5?
Yeah,
Is that
go
right?
for it. I'll tell you.
Right, picked the car up from Chris, but the fuel is completely empty, fuel tank. And there's a bit of a problem because my fuel opening flap doesn't work. I can see it in that mirror, it's not opening. And what I usually have to do is enlist the help of someone to open it. It's really embarrassing. Right, picked the car up and I'm heading back. Thankfully the roads are reasonably dry, but you can still kind of make out the salt on the side of the roads. I'm trying to avoid it best I can. So we're back at home now. It's looking good. The next job is going to be to get that inner wheel arch back on.